Tonight, how did this happen? The rescue shelter that abandoned its animals.
How many dogs did you find dead?
60 plus.
Oh my God.
We hit the road to investigate the dramatic rise in sheep rustling.
Last year was the worst we'd had in terms of what was taken.
And we'll meet the world champion ice swimmers as I get a taste of what it feels like.
Oh, that is cold. Will my body change its reaction from the shaking, or is it just keeping to do the...
So you're going to continue to shiver?
Welcome to Inside Out for the south of England. First, last year we spent an incredible £24 billion here in the UK pampering our pooches. In Romania, though, it's a different story where they have a huge problem with strays. So more and more of us dog-loving Brits have been parting with our cash to try and help keep them off the streets. But sometimes it can go horribly wrong.
We need to get inside and see what's all about inside.
This footage, shot earlier this year, shows the raid of an abandoned shelter in Brașov, north of Bucharest. You may find some scenes upsetting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can see.
Dogs had been left to fend for themselves. So how had this happened? In Romania, they have a huge problem with street dogs, and dog-loving Brits want to help. Official figures show that we've gone from adopting no Romanian rescue dogs in 2013 to more than 15,000 last year. As well as rehoming, sponsoring Romanian dogs is now big business. There are dozens of social media pages, often run by UK-based fundraisers, all wanting your money.
Hi, John.
16-year-old Katrina Neve from Littlehampton in West Sussex loves her pets and wants to be a vet. Is that Romanian? So Angel
Yes.
understands Romanian. Brilliant. Katrina saw a post on social media and, along with her mum Helen, decided to help.
There was a Facebook post from Rainbow Shelter with a plea for help. We contacted them and asked where we should be staying and whether it was okay to come out, and they said yes. And then we raised lots of donations of food, wormer, medicine, toys, etc.
Last April, they flew out, but soon realised things were not as they should be.
When we went through the big metal gates, we were surrounded by dogs in an open yard, and there were approximately 20 dogs in there. They were biting, they were fighting each other.
You could see their ribs and backbone, and they didn't look very well. On the first day, we just had a gut feeling that something wasn't right, the fact that we were only allowed in there for less than an hour.
Once back in Sussex, Katrina wrote a detailed report about the shelter and sent it to the administrators of the UK fundraising page.
We just wanted to share our concerns in the hope that they would take them on board and help the shelter improve.
When Katrina and Helen left Romania, there were around 30 dogs at the shelter, but they soon learnt that more and more dogs were being taken in.
We were quite horrified over the course of the next 6 months to find that they had taken over 120 dogs there, which of course was impossible for one man. The horrendous outcome of that, of course, was on the 17th of January when the shelter was raided.
The door was open.
The shelter had been abandoned for some time. Their feces was everywhere, and the bodies of dogs were piled up. Some had died in their baskets.
There's like 5.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Simon Henson is the man filming the raid.
When you're going around, you're opening another door, you must sort of dread to think what's on the other one.
What's in this?
Starved to death.
We didn't expect to find what we did when we went in.
It's just horrific, isn't it? Absolutely horrific.
Oh my God. It was just dog after dog after dog after dog.
How many dogs did you find dead?
60 plus.
The Rainbow Shelter's UK administrators collected money from supporters via PayPal. They're just one of many groups seeking donations like this via social media.
We were really surprised when we investigated Rainbow Shelter to find that they weren't actually a registered charity. They're an organisation that come together with probably well-meaning people to try and help dogs in Romania, but actually there was no accountability and therefore nobody overseeing what was happening at the shelter.
We contacted the Rainbow Shelter's UK-based Facebook admin, who told us they found nothing wrong with the rescue during 3 visits last year. They also told us that they think things must have gone downhill very quickly earlier this year, and that illness may have killed the dogs, not starvation. I'm in Wales, meeting Polly. She's taken in many rescue dogs over the years and has had both good and bad experiences with dogs from Romania.
So who's this?
This is Miri, and she's about 12 years old, and she was my first Romanian rescue.
Polly set up a Facebook page called The Good Guide to Romanian Dog Rescue after she'd had a bad experience sponsoring dogs she'd seen on Facebook.
They sent the dogs to the most awful private shelters possible. I started to ask questions like, can I have photographs of my dog? And of course, I've been paying for a dead dog.
Stung by her experience, Polly set up The Good Guide to help others make informed decisions about which rescues to support.
Unfortunately, we seem to be the only people at present trying to do as an objective, as impartial a service as we possibly can.
You've become almost this sheriff of the Wild West, haven't you? You are now an unofficial go-to to see whether a shelter is legit.
Yes, but the trouble is people shoot at the sheriffs, and I get shot at sometimes. This is not half as glamorous, but the real way you could help Romania is by actually donating to spaying and neutering campaigns.
Polly wrote a post on The Good Guide when she suspected things were going badly wrong at the Rainbow Shelter.
I mean, that's just pitiful.
That dog there just waiting to get out.
It was this post that prompted Simon to go to Romania, where he was helped by local rescuers.
So those dogs weren't going anywhere. And God knows how long they've been stuck in that position for, just waiting to get out.
Physically bent metal in a bid to try and get out.
Trying to escape.
Some people who've given money to the Rainbow Shelter are upset that their donations went to a poorly run centre. Linda Sinclair says she won't be donating via social media again.
I've been to Romania, I've witnessed the horrors there, and this has just made me sick to the stomach. So please, everybody, do not give willy-nilly to Romania. It's a sad, sorry, I'll get really emotional. It's a really sad thing. Please don't.
So is there anyone who can police the Wild West of fundraising on social media? The man who runs the fundraising regulator, Gerald Oppenheim, says not much can be done for now.
Trying to extend regulation to social media will take longer, I think, but we do want to open conversations with them to bring them in.
If you're about to part with your hard-earned cash to an organisation which isn't a registered charity, is it a case of buyer beware or donor beware?
Very much so. Be very careful. Check up before you send any money. Do a search on your computer about the organisation. See what you can find out.
The fundraisers who ran the Rainbow Shelter donation page told us they were planning to become a registered charity, but they hadn't submitted the paperwork. They also told us they will no longer raise money for Romanian rescues because they were horrified and devastated by what happened.
There's nothing else in here.
There's another.
Who's this? So there were some surviving dogs.
One rescued.
There were some surviving dogs. We took 17 out. There were 2 that we couldn't catch.
Hello, baby. Hello.
I definitely say in the future to anybody else who wants to donate to a different rescue to research into the rescue, ask for photos of the dog that you're sponsoring, because there are still some really good rescues out there and they need the support.
Hello.
This one was just really bad and upsetting.
And don't forget, if you've got a story you want us to look into, then drop me an email, john.cuthill@bbc.co.uk.